Hey, and welcome to On the Chain. This is the Roundtable. We have a great guest with us tonight. We have DavidXRP from the community. We're going to learn all about David, how he got into blockchain, a couple of the projects that he's been working on. Man, we're excited. What is up, David?
How you doing, Jeff?
Okay, man, it's great to have you here with us. And of course, right over here, co-host Chip. Man,
Bam.
let's do this.
Bam.
Let's start this right.
And now, the Roundtable with Jeff and Chip on the chain.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. You ready, David? Let's go.
Let's do this, man. That was the longest open of all time.
Remember, I still think the the Hodge twins, they commented on one of our videos and said that's the longest open we've ever seen on any video. I'm like, thank you. I said, come on the show. They're like, nah, man. Not a response on that, but.
So this is awesome. We love having energy. I've never really interacted with you before, David. I know Chip has on Twitter. So it's awesome to meet you. I know it's great for the On the Chain community to meet you in person as well. Because a lot of times you have you interact with people on Twitter and it's just a Twitter name. And then actually getting to talk to people, get to learn your story, how you got into the blockchain space. And like I was saying in the beginning, you've got a couple great projects that we're going to talk about as well. But let's start there because this is, I love this story. We were talking about it a little bit before. I think everyone's been there the first time they find the digital asset space, the first investment, how it goes and lessons learned. Man, how did that look for you?
Well, how I got into digital assets. Of course, I can't say of course, but I was a stock trader before. I got into digital assets and working with a guy that was trading, and he was actually invested in 2015. So he got to reap the benefits of the 2017 bull run. And he actually showed me his account. And I saw the profits he made, and that got me interested right there because after trading stocks for about a couple of years, I hadn't made that much, and he made that much in the same amount of time. And so I was like, okay, well, let me see what this is, right? And I had heard of Bitcoin, but I didn't know exactly what it was for, what it did. I mean, I wish I would have got it when I was in high school, but I didn't know anything about it. So I went in there. Got Coinbase and bought me some LiteCoin. Lost money with LiteCoin because it was at $90 and it just kept dropping from there. And I just thought it was gonna go back to up to 400 because it's like, oh, it went up to $300 or $400, and I was like, okay, let me see what that's about. And then I went and bought Bitcoin after that, and I tried to send some Bitcoin from one wallet to the other wallet, and it took a long time, and I didn't know why.
And you're probably terrified, right?
Right. I mean, I just didn't understand it, and,
right.
But once it went through and then I realized, okay, so Bitcoin's really slow. Okay. So then I found XRP. And when I found XRP, it really opened my mind up because I actually find a lot of comfort in being able to have full control over my money and being able to, I bought something from a guy on Twitter. And I was able to, he got his money way before I got my product, But I like being able to, I really liked that. I felt the comfort in being able to pay this guy so quickly and get it over with, and have that transaction settled. I really like that aspect of crypto. And I hope that the world can catch up and, everybody get their pay ID. That way you can just pay everybody with XRP and make it all quick,
Yeah, you brought up an interesting point. I start thinking, and it's interesting. So, you mentioned, buying something with a digital asset and the fast movement of the funds. obviously, you could use a credit card. There's a little security behind the credit card, but not everybody selling something is able to accept credit cards. There's always, high fees with that. The scary part of sending the digital asset, like you said, is he got his money before you got your product. And I
Right.
start thinking about, some of the technology that's available just hasn't been implemented yet, which kind of gives us an idea where the technology can go. But imagine, a world now where you're buying with XRP or another digital asset, but when you pay for something, you send that digital asset, but it goes into an escrow, or it goes into, through a smart contract, your money's being held until there's proof, that the seller has actually shipped their product.
That is
And as they ship the product, there's also then confirmation that they're actually shipping the right product to you. So there's some mechanism in place. Doesn't exist today, but imagine if something like that could happen.
Right. That would like create a trust agreement.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, between the parties, and that sounds like an excellent idea, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Jeff, when you said you're like, imagine a world, I thought it was like I could picture the XRP, the movie. It's like, imagine a world where payments are instantaneous. You know what I mean? They always had like that deep announcer voice. And everything happens overnight with everybody else, or 3 to 5 days with Swift. It's like, it really is cool. And you're like, hey, man, you got your money. Where's my product? And you're probably, even if you overnighted it, it still gets the next day, right? It's still not, I mean, we're pretty cool with that now because we have Amazon. Like sometimes I'll order something on Amazon. It comes the next day. I'm like, it came the next day. What the hell? But I mean, we're getting to a point of where, Amazon's working towards like, 2 hours. But, the DoorDash and all these, you order groceries and within a 2-hour window, they're at your door, knocking on your door. You get your stuff. We're getting into that sort of space. I'm just curious. So when you saw LiteCoin tanking, was there a panic button? Because you're new. You come from stocks, you move over to digital assets. You're like, I got this. And then all of a sudden you see LiteCoin going down. Like, what do you do? Do you start panicking or?
Well, after trading stocks for 2 years, I want to say 2 years, but it was about 2 years. After, learning what stocks were and actually trading, I learned how to take a loss. So I understand that, like I also trade Forex, and I realized something the other day when I was in a trade and I was like negative, I was in a negative. And I realized something. I was like, you know what? After I closed that trade negative, I was like, man, you know what? I feel way better taking that loss than holding it and wondering, is it going to go even more lower? And I was like, oh gosh, so taking a loss feels so much better to me than sitting there worrying, And so
peace of mind. You know exactly what your loss is versus like what's the potential downside, right? I mean,
right. And so when I took my loss with LiteCoin, it wasn't like devastating to me because I didn't have a lot of it actually, but it was it was just a loss, I can't really.
It was an eye opener, right? So you realize that, hey, man, this stuff is real. It's real money you're putting into it, right? It's your real fiat currency. Right. We can say we want about fiat, but your fiat goes in, and what you're hoping comes out the other end is this sort of a movement, not.
Right. Well, see, I didn't understand that the bull run had ended, or that was just a bull run. I didn't know the market at the time,
Yeah. And
now that it's been, I've been in here for 2 years, crypto also. It's I understand more. I understand the market more, the market cycles, and I understand what crypto is better. So, it's better for me to, take a loss. Or, I mean, I hold I'm gonna say I hold a lot, but I hold a bunch of different cryptos, and some of them are, lower now than what I paid, so, I could take that loss, but I plan to hold them because I see the crypto space going, so far and then reaching such a vast, amount of people. So I plan to hold.
Yeah, well, I think that it's good to see what's starting to happen. Before we went live here, we started talking a little bit about some of the regulations we see coming. But even before that, for me, I always thought that the banks being able to custody crypto now because, look, for the masses, people don't have to know. They're like, wait a minute, I keep my regular money in the bank. Now I can actually keep crypto in the bank. So it's not so much that, that there's that trust factor. It's more about the knowing. It's like you don't have to teach somebody something new. If you try to tell somebody, like my brother got into it eventually, right? And when I try to explain to him, I'm like, no, man, you got to get a ledger. He's like, okay, I bought the ledger. That ledger, he bought it about 6 months ago. It's still in the package. He goes, dude, this scares the crap out of me. He goes, I'm afraid to do it. The seed thing, the this, the that. I feel if I lose it. And, he's kind of right. It's like, it's pretty scary. That first time you send it to a cold storage wallet, and even though it's XRP and it's fast, you still go panicking. You're sweating. Where is it? It's not there yet. Oh, my God, I did something wrong. And you realize, oh, all right, it's there. But, for the average person, I mean, can you see, friends of yours doing that? I mean, people that maybe, because somebody turned you on to crypto, and if you turn people on to crypto, can you see them like trying to get that whole thing?
Yeah, most definitely. I have about 3 or 4 close friends that that I've introduced to crypto. And so yeah, I see people storing their money on a ledger, especially some of my friends, because I mean, I try to go in and explain to them, from my point of view, and I try to give them the understanding that, hey, go in and look at what you think is interesting and find what you think is interesting, and don't invest according to what I say or what I feel, but like you got to realize this is only my opinion. I don't know, but I do have a lot of confidence in it. But
that's good advice, man.
I just tell my friends, I tell my friends, look, make sure you make your own. Like I try to give them a story to, like, all right, if there was a world tournament for supermarkets, right? And America versus all the other countries. And we had to vote what supermarket we were going to use to go into the competition. What supermarket would we choose? And all of them said Walmart. Okay, so why did you choose Walmart? And an example is to explain, well, if you choose Walmart, it's because you can depend on Walmart. And Walmart does their job. They're like one of the best supermarkets in the world, right? Especially from our point of view. And so if you can look at that and analyze and say, yeah, I would choose Walmart, that's how you come at the crypto market. That's how you come at the stock market. And I just tell some of my friends and families, things like that. And but as far as the ledger and cold storage and stuff, yeah, it is kind of iffy, not iffy, but I mean, you gotta take your time and know what you're doing, and yeah.
That's so there's a certain level of person, that's going to be able to do that, right, Chip? I mean, it's, I know the 3 of us sitting here use the ledger, investigate the ledger. I know other people that would probably do that, but there's a lot of people out there, the mainstream kind of investment space that, I still believe are or would be a little standoffish to getting into the space if they had to use a ledger, which is why we're starting to see the growth of the Upholds and the Coinbase and the Binance and all of these exchanges. I think, the 3 of us sitting here, if you want to make sure that you have full control over your digital asset space and have a little independence in a decentralized world, having the ledger is probably the easiest solution. But you bring up a good point, because yesterday was the first time in a long time that I actually plugged my ledger in, and I had to go through and upgrade it. I had to update everything. I had to update, the firmware, and then I had to go through and all the different. I had to download the new Ledger Live, and go through that process. And then you had to go in and add all the different accounts, and you're pulling some on, taking them off.
Right.
It was an interesting process, but then I look at the Ledger Live, and it's not really that different than your exchange, other than you have that extra added layer of security, which is your Ledger device that you have to plug in. Without the Ledger, no one's accessing your accounts. They need to have that Ledger plugged in. So I went through that experience again. I logged into all my different accounts, and it was all part of a process that I was going through and trying to move things, a few things over to Celsius, and I wanted to decide what I wanted to try out. I was making a video yesterday on Celsius, so I went through and logged into everything, and each platform kind of has a different feel to it. Has a slightly different user experience. From Uphold to Coinbase to Binance. I went back to Coinbase Pro. Coinbase Pro is doing instant transactions now. If you move X amount over there, you'll have your money instantly to start buying. Coinbase offered that, but I think you had to hold X amount on the regular and then Uphold. And it was interesting going through the dynamics, in this process, and then going on the ledger. But other than having to plug the thing in, I found the experience, very similar across the board. But I think most people are more accustomed to just logging into a website and moving money, without having to plug something in and passwords and clicking and all of that stuff. What are your thoughts on that? Is that something?
The plugging it in?
Yeah, just that experience.
Well, I'm in the same boat. I actually just plugged my ledger in about a couple weeks ago for the first time, and I pretty much did the same thing. I actually added to it. I have my XRP that I have in storage, and then I have some on the exchange. Like, so if there's a sudden burst up, I don't have to plug up my ledger. I have some that I'm ready to sell, right? So, and I was looking at that, and I was like, okay, let me put some more up in my ledger. So I just went ahead and hooked it up, and I kind of, like you just said about going back, like when you had to update things, like that kind of gave me a eerie feeling.
Yeah.
I was like, man, what if something happens? What if there's a glitch? And that goes back to my notes. Like before we had this conversation, I was actually looking to see if I could find anything if Ledger has insurance that protect us just in case. Like, what if they have a hack, or what if something happens and it's on their end, it's not on me? Will they do I have insurance that shows that they will secure my assets? And then because I found something like that for Coinbase. I think Coinbase and Coinbase Pro has that where if something happens and like if their platform is hacked and it has nothing to do with you or anything you did, they will replace your crypto, right? So I was wondering if Ledger had something going on like that also.
Yeah, or if their servers go down. That is scary. Chip, what are your thoughts on that? I think it's interesting. We bring up the idea of these seeds and knowing all your seed words. Actually, I logged into MetaMask yesterday for the first time in probably like 2 years, and I found out that I had BAT tokens sitting on the MetaMask. And then I tried to move my BAT token, but since I didn't have Ethereum, I couldn't move it. So then I'm like, now I have to get Ethereum and put Ethereum over on my MetaMask in order to move my BAT tokens off of it. But I used my seed phrase in order to add the wallet to the computer that I haven't done before. I hadn't had it on here. What do you think? To me that it's so cumbersome. There's so much to that.
Well, I kind of liken it to if you look at the early days of the internet, right? The early days, remember I was coding early days and it was like HTML and you were looking at like basically like a text editor, right? And you're doing all this stuff and then you like would preview it on a browser and you're like, and you're doing, and it's like really technical. And then if you don't close something off right, your whole design goes to hell and you're like, oh, what am I doing? You got to go through the code. You're like, oh, I'm missing, something there, like I blew something out. And I liken it to that because then to get to the point, like right now, you're like, there's so many web builders out there. I want to build a website. I drag this here, I click. And it's like kind of like how a brain works. And I look at cryptos the sort of same way. Now, who thought, it's kind of a weird thing. Like, I remember when these, codes came out. What are those ones you scan, Jeff? What are those things called? The QR codes, right? So there was like a little buzz about maybe 10 years ago, but everyone's like, who's going to really, you could go to a real estate site and click on it and then it would load up a website. You can go to like billboards were having them, but they kind of died out. But then you started seeing a real good use case for them, which was cryptocurrency, which is you want to move a digital asset from one place to another. Do you want to
scan it.
Do you want to? Yeah, you want to scan it so you know that that's it, or do you want to copy and paste it and maybe have a wrong number and you backed out space the number to 6 and you accidentally hit a 7? Now it's gone to someone else's cold storage wallet. And I unfortunately know too many people in the space where my heart goes out. This has happened to them where they lost a bunch. And somebody like, oh, check their wallet. Like, oh, look at this. This magically showed up one day, So, look, things always get better. And in the early days, when you're pioneers, look, when the U.S. was just getting started, and you had the Louisiana Purchase, and people are trailblazing stuff. They don't know what's out there. There's no maps. It's like, you just kind of get a party together and you start trailblazing. So all early pioneers, explorers of everything, the people that actually to set the foundational stuff, those people are really the heroes, because everything that comes after that becomes easier and more user-friendly. And right now we're not there. That's why I think the bank's custody and crypto is going to be a bigger thing. And then we look at stuff like there's going to be other solutions out there. Like the banks may not do their own solution. They may hire somebody like a PolySign maybe. There may be some other institutional ones. But, with the advent of, having XRP, then all of a sudden our whole community, one day we hear about this brand new Flare. What's Flare? It's a smart contract platform. But then when we heard as XRP bag holders, we would then get the opportunity to, I don't really call it an airdrop, but a one-to-one distribution. It's like, okay, if you have 1,000 XRP, now get 1,000 Spark. First thing is people started going like, and David, we talked about this earlier, like, man, is this a scam? What is this? Like, what's going on with this whole thing? But I mean, how did you feel when you first found out about this Flare token distribution based on a one-to-one, the XRP you were holding?
I was excited. There's a theory going around in the community that they're offering Flare, and they have the snapshot process in order to see how much XRP everybody has, and that is just baloney. That don't even make sense. Like, you gotta understand something. You gotta look at it from a realistic point of view. I'm gonna go to Ripple. I'm gonna say Ripple, right? Ripple doesn't, like, we don't owe Ripple anything. Ripple doesn't owe us anything. They don't need to scam us. You know what I mean? Like, these people are like, they're deep in like with the governments and with regulators, and like, look at the people they're associated with, the central banks. You don't get to get that close to those people if you have dirt and tricks up your sleeve and stuff like that, And so back to Flare, I was very excited when I heard about Flare, and I just think it's just such a brilliant idea for them for the Flare organization to create a token that runs on the XRP ledger that interoperates with smart contracts. And from what I understand, I read the white paper, but I'm not very all the way comprehensive of everything I read. But I do believe, from what I understand, that Flare would not drive, Spark would not drive value to itself. It would only drive value to XRP, from what I understand. And that's crazy. That makes XRP also a smart contract token. You know what I'm saying? And if it works out that way, that just makes XRP more. That's like Thanos putting on the glove. It was Thanos already, and then he puts on the glove. Now he's super powerful. It's just I just think it's crazy, man. That crazy in a good way. That that the opportunities like this, man. It's like, would something be available like this if everybody in the world was involved? Like, what if everybody had XRP? You think they would still be willing to give everybody in the world? Like, we are lucky to be here and be able to be a part of something like that, Actually, we're pretty smart because we recognize something like that, and you have to be a critical thinker to be able to see something like this and be able to, see it for what it is and dive into it and actually, there's a trust factor with everything, But for some reason, I think the word cryptocurrency scares people.
Correct. Yeah.
When you say cryptocurrency, you start talking about crypto, you just scared the person out of they don't even want to talk about it anymore. But that's why I try to lean more towards saying digital assets and stuff like that. But, I think it's that word. I think that word tells people I have no idea what's going on. I'll never figure this out. I might as well just even mess with it, you know?
Exactly. I think you're right 100%. Crypto means, it seems like it's more cryptic, it's hidden, it's used for nefarious reasons. It's on the dark web, kind of black market-ish, it's scammy. It's not really something that that's for mainstream. Whereas, they don't think about it from a perspective of cryptography being safe, being hard to crack, coded. They don't think about it from that perspective. You're right, because everything's crypto. Oh, it's I'm afraid of it, and it's you think about the what was that one show, the crypt? They think about the Crypt Keeper or whatever that years and years ago. You remember that guy on the I think it was HBO years and years ago.
Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt, right?
No, right? Tales from the Crypto is what they ought to
Tales from the Crypto.
I lost all my bags. I had a number wrong.
And now, if you got to get them back, that's kind of what you feel like, right? When you're moving your digital asset from one address to another, you feel like it's going to go into that zone where you're going to have to go and try to take on the Crypt Keeper to get your digital asset back. That's what they think. But you're 100% spot on. Digital asset brings it more mainstream. Get away from, for years, even in a political space. I always believe in terminology. Words have a lot of meaning, and the way you use the words can have a lot of impact on outcomes, and how things develop and grow. And from a terminology perspective, it a lot of times in politics, whether it's international or domestic, if you allow one group to dominate the use of specific terminology, it will dictate everything moving forward, whether it's true or not. However they twist the narrative, they can, and so from this perspective, the same thing, it's very 100%. And I think, it's up to us as a community, to try to, can you try to convince people that crypto's safe, or do you as a community, we all make a decision that moving forward, we're going to change the narrative, we're going to change the terminology we use, and we're going to make digital asset the terminology to use. So that way people feel more comfortable, because now we're creating a narrative that it's an asset, it's digital, it's safe, it's something that you want to get involved in.
All right. Because I think most people are connect Bitcoin, like first, most people who don't know anything about crypto, when you say Bitcoin, they say, okay, I know what that is. I've heard of that. So you just start listening, right? And I think most of them connect in their mind, psychologically connect Bitcoin to Silk Road and the dark web. And when they hear that, it's instant scam. Like it's so easy to prove that it's not a scam, but it's still, to people who are not in the space, it's still skeptical to them. And they're still iffy and like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm just going to lose all my money. I don't know if I want to watch this thing the way you're watching it. I don't know if I want to put that much energy into it, right? And so they're like, okay, maybe it's not a scam, but I have to do all that. So,
Well, David, I want to get back to something you said. I thought there's a lot to unpack in your statement there, but one thing that like connected with me is when you said, because I kind of really connected when you said, people in the community thought, wait a minute, if I own this much XRP and now someone's going to give me the equivalent and a brand new token, it's like one of those things like where you said the community, some of the community immediately went to, oh, this is a scam, it's not possible. But then you started looking at it and you started looking at the fact that, oh, Spring invested in them, that the funding arm of Ripple, that they've been working on this for 2.5 years. And the white paper was a lot to read. I mean, it took me a while, even Jeff and I going back and forth trying to unravel it. And then I started getting it, especially when they started releasing more data points on it. But I think you make a really good point. It's like, imagine like you get involved in the space, you get some digital assets, and you just happen to invest in XRP. Now you find out you're into the bonus round, right? Big power up, and you're going into the Spark token thing, and you start thinking to yourself, wait a minute, by using the Spark token as collateral, that's a way for me to earn XRP? All right, wait a minute. It almost sounds I have to say, it almost sounds too good to be true, but you're right. It was a brilliant strategy. Like you pointed this out of Flare to really imagine the adoption and imagine the interest they generated by saying, hey, we'll take a snapshot. We know about 45 billion is out there. That's, the non-custody stuff from crypto, that's owned by the Ripple employees, that still is under custody by Ripple. We're talking about the user base, the people that invested in this asset. Those are the people we're gonna. Now all of a sudden you got this amazing interest in it. I mean, look how you reacted. Look how we all reacted in the beginning when we found out. Wait a minute. Now the big rush is like, oh, wait a minute. Wait, they're gonna do the snapshot in December. What do I need to do to set up my ledger? And then all these instructional videos came out. I know James XRP Rule came out with one, a really good one. There's a lot of cool ones out there. But what did you instantly go to, like, okay, am I set up for the snapshot, or are you thinking, oh, I got time?
I was thinking I had time at first. I wasn't in a rush to do it, but then I was waiting on at first when they first made the announcement. I was waiting to see, because I try to use Coinbase as my what I call my quick sale exchange, because like I said, I have XRP on exchanges that I'm ready to sell just in case there's a great, like say it just goes to $10. Well, of course I'm gonna sell some to get some of that money, just I used Coinbase as my quick sale exchange. And all right, go back to the question.
Well, they haven't. Well, what I was saying was, how did you feel initially? Did you think about what did you have to do to make sure that whatever your digital asset known as XRP was stored, did you have it all together? In other words, if you had a little bit on this exchange, a little bit on this exchange, was your ledger ready and pointed, ready to receive the drop?
Well, I got it ready a little while after, once I saw that Coinbase wasn't setting up to do the flare distribution.
Yeah, what's up with that, by the way? They're like, you would expect them to jump on right away, right?
Right, and then
they will.
especially in America, they have one of the biggest platforms. Like, pretty much, I still send people to Coinbase because Coinbase sounds comfortable to me. It sounds accepted. It sounds open arms. Like, this is safe. This is good.
It's regulated, though. You're right. I mean, you want to turn your friends onto something that's not going to be a foreign exchange somewhere where they could potentially,
Like, even though I kind of trust BitTrue, if I tell somebody about BitTrue and they go look at it, they're like, oh, this doesn't look right, or Uphold, and then those names aren't really like open arms. Like, they're not really like open, like comfortable for people who don't know anything about digital assets.
They don't give you a hug. Open arms. I think of a giant hug. Like, come on in.
When you say
that's a great observation.
I think people get more comfortable with that and be like, okay, this sounds like a bank. This sounds like somewhere where you go and I expected them to do it, but when I realized they wasn't, and I saw where I'm not sure how to say his name, Weetwin, did the XRP toolkit setup where you can that's when I went ahead and did that with my ledger.
Talk about Weetwin?
Yeah, and that's why I was familiar with what Jeff was saying about updating your ledger and stuff. That's when I did it, actually, and I had to update it and stuff, and but yeah, it didn't take me long to go ahead and set my stuff up. I just, like, at first I was trying to wait on Coinbase because I was just gonna set that up. But what I ended up doing was sending all of my exchange XRP to BitTrue. And I mean, my quick sell XRP to BitTrue, and then my ledger, I set my ledger up through the XRP toolkit, and with my Zum wallet too. I actually didn't have I had the Zum wallet, but I didn't have any XRP in it. I have to have this 20 XRP in it.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and did that and everything, and had it set up.
I still haven't set up my Zum. I always get a little bit through it, and then something happens, the phone, whatever, something happens. I get distracted. Like 3 times I've been trying to set it up. I'm like, I get distracted, and it is a pretty easy process.
I don't have faith in it yet. I'm not saying that it's not a bad project, but the Zum wallet, I don't fully trust, that it's not hackable, that it's not whatever. I feel much more comfortable and confident putting digital asset. If I'm going to hold it on an exchange or on a ledger, it's on an exchange or a ledger, not going to the Zum wallet yet. Time will tell. I'm not saying, one way or the other. That's my confident level on it. That's one of the reasons I was going through the process as well. And every time I get to that point where it's like, set up your wallet, I always stop. I don't pull the trigger, and it's happened to me multiple times, and I get distracted, and
This
I
is
say, I'll
new
do it
information,
again.
Jeff.
Now it's interesting because I had the same kind of trepidation when it came to Celsius, and we've had Alex Mashinsky on the show. We've talked to him. I feel confident about his history. I know what he's done with other businesses. I see what he's done with the Celsius network. Yeah. And then a couple of times I started and I stopped. Stop. I never got to the point where I finalized it. Yesterday, I sat down with Celsius and went through the process and then made a video. And then I moved digital asset over there. And I ended up sending 4 different digital assets over to Celsius and to see how it would work. I sent Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, XRP, and Stellar tokens over there, one after another. Jeff. And I did the Bitcoins first. So I did Bitcoin. Oh, and then I have the BTC SV. Somehow and I don't know how I got those, but I got those. So I moved.
You don't know. What do you mean you don't know how you got those? They just magically showed up one day.
They just magically showed up on one day.
Just magically showed up one day. Like somebody accidentally sent it to the wrong wall, and Jeff's like, "Hey, this is a gift."
So
come on, man.
So I tried moving the Bitcoins over, and it was interesting. Bitcoin Cash was pretty quick. The SV was pretty quick. Put the Bitcoin. By the time I got done moving XRP and Stellar, XRP was instantaneous. It was amazing. Bam. I sent it. Boom, it was already over there on Celsius. Stellar, immediately on there. And then I go back, and Bitcoin hadn't cleared yet. Finally, Bitcoin cleared as well. And everything was seamless moving over there. So I got over that a bit of fear or anxiety of using a platform that isn't an exchange, which now I guess my next step is going to be try to use the Zum wallet, but I still have a little concern over it, based on it not being an exchange, not being, I don't know that it has the insurance. It doesn't have, I don't know. I just don't feel 100%, secured yet. I got that goes with all of them, even using like a MetaMask, it's just it's a browser-based.
That browser-based thing worries me, man. I had a MetaMask too, and it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't get a level of, it just feels a little bit wrong because, like, a browser hacking that wallet. A lot of these wallets out there, I do worry a little bit about. Like that MetaMask,
But you can connect on MetaMask, I think you can connect your ledger, right? To give it an extra layer of protection. Is that how? I forget if I did that or not. I don't remember. It's too much. It's way too much. But, to all these points, man, these are really, it's interesting. I'm thinking about things a little bit differently. It's this terminology, it's the same thing. It's going to be a level of comfort with everything. I like the idea, like, what we're mentioning with, the Spark token, with what Flare's doing. It definitely, has some impact, because a lot of this, there's 2 different types of people in the space with anything, stock, digital asset, what have you. You have the long-term holders that are investing in long-term projects where, over a period of time, you're going to get long-term benefit. And then you have people that are trading, right, that are buying and selling. And it's 2 different worlds, And so, like, David was saying, you used to trade stock, gets in, you're trying to buy and sell LiteCoin or something. That's exactly how I got in as well. I'm like, let me try to use my same stock trading strategies and some of the technical analysis that I used in stock. And I had a whole equation put together that worked on stocks, and I start using it in the digital asset space. Didn't really apply so much, but I was trading in the beginning, but that 17, 18 timeframe was awesome because you couldn't lose, it was every day you bought something, it went up, but I quickly realized that, it's too speculative in nature and all of this, but I think it all gets back to, at the end of the day, we're starting to identify projects, long-term, stable projects that can really change basically everything, and that's what, when we talk about Ripple, and now you're talking about with the Flare smart contracts, interoperable with the Ethereum smart contract and changing the space. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP probably aren't going anywhere.
Wait, what'd you say? Oh, you're saying they're not going anywhere. Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
not going anywhere.
Yeah,
Right.
they're probably not
Yeah.
going. Yeah, not like coin number 4,799 on the list of market cap. You know.
Yeah.
But wait, before we get into this, I wanted to talk about that. So let's back up a little bit. I want to see this shirt because one of the things that I'm always amazed by is the talent in this community. Now that shirt right there, where did you get that shirt from?
I bought it on my crypto store.
Nice. And you designed that shirt as well, yeah?
Yes, sir, yeah, I did.
So I think we should drill in a little bit and check that out. I think that's a cool shirt.
Awesome.
So guys, if you guys want that shirt, you guys like that shirt, down below right there, you can click on the link and you can go to it. But let's add this up here. Let's go look at this, man. So check this out. So let's start up here. There's the XRP right there. Boom, XRP, blockchain enthusiast. There's your desert island you're going to buy. This is the best one ever, man. Buy more XRP. Tone vase. Yeah, this made its rounds around the internet, man. I saw that
he actually blocked me, and I never tagged him in that meme I made.
What did he do? He blocked you because of that.
Just recently I looked and somebody had posted something he posted and I clicked on it and it said I was blocked. I was like, wow. I was like, he blocked me.
Gee, I don't know why.
Right.
We can't quite figure it out.
Because I made that meme and a lot of people shared it. So I was like,
dude, I saw that meme.
I didn't think that he would knew where it come from, but it's just funny to me that he blocked me and I never tagged him or anything. And then
talk about.
There's this one. I bought it at 25 cents right there.
I love that one.
Damn. Because you have women, so you have both. You've got the men's, the women's, which fit a little bit better than those,
Basically, what I plan to do is if I sell shirts, the money I make, the profit I make, what I'm gonna do is buy XRP with it and do giveaways on my Twitter. Like it might not be like hundreds of XRP, but it'll be little giveaways here and there, and I'll just take the money I make from this and buy XRP. And I use the Payburner wallet. And like if people are on Twitter and I'll be like, hey, if you got your Payburner wallet, and if they say something, I'll just send them some XRP. If I make enough money off this, I'll do that. I'll just have some giveaways or something. And I do that just because it helps people get more, comfortable with the space and see that, there's good people in here involved. And, it helps people want to create more wallets and stuff like that,
There it is right there. Boom.
Yeah, that was the first shirt I made right there, and that was why.
There it is, the crypto keeper.
Yeah,
I like it.
Sweet, man. I like this as the Monopoly dude, right?
Yep. Blockchain enthusiast teacher.
Yeah, we're going to get into it in a little bit too, but you're also got another talent that we're going to get into, which has to do with music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll jump into that in a little bit. Let's talk a little bit more about this digital assets. I'm gonna go and cue that one up. So, but let's just continue on. So regulations, Jeff. I mean, how is this gonna affect the space? Where are we gonna go with this regulation? How is that gonna affect the movement and adoption of crypto?
I think that's a great point. Yesterday we talked about what's going on over in Europe, and it looks like the EU might be the first to push through true regulation on the crypto space. I think even Christine Lagarde was talking about that they're going to have some input, and they're going to have some statements coming out pretty soon on her side. But overall, it looks like the EU is moving forward because overall, I think globally everybody has identified that digital assets aren't going anywhere. If anything, digital assets are becoming more and more ingrained into normal everyday commerce. We're going to see that from different perspectives. Obviously, there's a big push for the digital CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies, whether they're coming from China or elsewhere. We also see a lot of consolidation of power going around the world right now. So the digital asset space is definitely going to be factoring in. So we need clarity. Without the regulation, it's still kind of like the Wild West. That's where we get like the sushi token that, they just had an exit scam on that. Then there was an exit scam on another a DeFi platform, and then the guy ended up giving the money back, for 14 million. So there's all these things going on where there's some uncertainty. Although there's laws on the books, there's still uncertainty. And so when we look at, from a regulation perspective, interesting, I think as we talk about this to get some feedback, do you guys think that, regulation is critical, for the growth of the space? Has, lack of regulation in the US kind of hampered the growth of the space, or does it matter or not matter? Start with David.
I think regulations are very important, because I think that it has a huge role to play in the masses and the way the banks present the cryptos to the world and the way the news is able to present them. I mean, you have a lot of people that have old money, a lot of older people who have old money, and they're stuck in their ways, man. That's all they know is their money in the bank. They don't know, and of course the digital assets will sound like a scam to them until the bank they trust make the right commercial and present it the right way. And I don't think they're going to do that until they have regulations, until they are able to present it the right way, until they have rules and they know, okay, well, we don't have to worry about the bank, the other banks, or anybody else doing anything corruptive, because we have rules, we have laws. We know they're not going to do this because we know the law, and so I think that has a huge impact. It's going to have a huge impact on digital assets. I think it's going to just open the door up for the crypto market to be able to be like the stock market or the Forex market. It's going to give it limits and stuff, so people will know. And like I said, from there, I think the banks will be able to present it the right way.
I like what you said about the commercial. You're right. Imagine you're sitting down one day, because, even the older ways too, is like a lot of people still watch TV. I spend all my time on YouTube, man. I like YouTube, and sometimes I watch it on my TV, but most of the time it's on my phone, which is ridiculous because, why wouldn't I watch it on my big screen? But I'm sitting there on my phone and I'm watching it and, consuming stuff, or I'm out walking around with the dog and, consuming it. But I think you said it, man. Imagine one day you're sitting down, all of a sudden Wells Fargo commercial comes on and says, hey, now Wells Fargo offers digital assets. Now you can do this, not along with your stocks and blah. And you're like, whoa. You're right. I think that's a really good point because it almost legitimizes it. But I think your assessment's spot on too, because is that going to happen? Even though they're able to, are they going to wait for regulations before they really start openly promoting it? Because have we heard about Bank of America partnership like 2-3 years ago? And then somebody recently on one of the Brad Garlinghouse, he appeared somewhere and someone's like, can you comment on the Bank of America? And he goes, I can't confirm or deny it. And we're like, this is the oldest could be, might be. But if it was, they're still waiting for regulations. So even if they're on board, probably not going to pull the trigger right away, right? They're probably going to wait until they have that clarity, because they don't want us. Nobody wants to assume the risk themselves, especially a bank.
No, because you got too much money involved, and they don't want to. Nobody wants to tank all of a sudden. Have the SEC come take everything they have.
That's right. Get slapped with some. They already get enough fines for money laundering the old-fashioned way, the fiat.
Right. Banks are really good at money laundering.
They're so good at it, man.
Every
really
big bank, and they spend millions of dollars in fines. Deutsche Bank, J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, Santander. I think all of them have been caught up in all sorts of crazy things. Now, so it's interesting. When we look at regulation, we see what's going on over in Europe. We see what's going on in countries like Sweden and elsewhere. Asia, I think, has been making some big push, especially in Japan, Singapore, Malaysia. China, not so much. China's kind of, pushing in their own direction. But here at home, when we look at regulation, it can't be one-sided. In order for us to have any changes within Congress, it has to be a bipartisan initiative. Even
Agreed.
if one party is controlling Congress, you can't just push something through. This is like the biggest change. The question is, what kind of appetite, do these congressional representatives have for helping average Americans, better their lives? I'm always leery of that, right? From a political perspective, we see their agendas, but now from an economic perspective, are they holding back on pushing through certain regulations? Because we've seen so many bills being brought in front of Congress, and then they just sit there, right? And then you have people like Maxine Waters that talks about Bitcoin and not Bitcoin, but we joke about that. But I mean, you could easily make that error, but she doesn't even know how to text on her cell phone. How is she going to understand Bitcoin? One of the things that we understood from Warren Davidson's office was that, and this goes back maybe over a year ago, there's still a lot of misunderstanding within Congress, right? Like we were talking about early on, that people look at crypto as something bad, and they have this misunderstanding. Yet we're also within Congress to get regulation. You have to change the ways of the old, right? So now you have people that have all this money in banks, all the old money that that David just brought up. Those same people are saying, hey, we don't want to change the system.
Exactly.
We control the system.
Right.
Why would we want to let all these, people that average everyday Americans get a chance to create this kind of wealth without having, so it's interesting. But here we have, all these different bills. And so we have Darren Soto's name comes up over and over and over again. He's a Democrat in Orlando. He's taken the bull by the horns, and really, he's the one that's always out there. He's been pushing. Warren Davidson pushed a lot with Token Taxonomy Act, but Darren Soto seems to be on all these bills, and now again we see him. There's this and this is all recent, like in the past 2 weeks. You have HR 8128, which is the AI for Consumer Product Safety Act. That was let me see the date. That was August 28th. It was introduced. And it was moved with it, and there was no co-sponsor in that one, but that one was brought to refer to the House Energy and Commerce. We're not seeing anything in the Financial Services Committee, but then you have HR 8153, which was Darren Soto's bill. Now the other one, was the HR 8128 AI for Consumer Product Safety is from a Democrat in California, Jerry McNerney. And then you have Darren Soto with what's the name of this bill? This is Blockchain Innovation Act. And that one he introduced September 1st. So just a little over a week ago. Then you have, go ahead.
Jeff, I was gonna say, but it is refreshing. You mentioned Maxine Waters. You got Bobby Rush, who's, he's probably one of the older people in Congress. He's been around for a long time. He's out of the 1st District of Illinois. And he's pushing 74, and like him to be jumping on co-sponsoring that and really trying to move this bill forward, it kind of gives me a little bit of reassurance. He's also a Democrat, so I do see the bipartisanship in this whole thing. And when you're talking about all these bills and what's going on, it seems like there's a bubbling up that's happening, right? It all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's this giant rush. But I think a lot of that Compete Act that they're moving through, I think one of the key things is they've isolated. Everyone's identified that we don't want to get our asses handed to us from China, and everyone recognized that. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. We recognize, like, we don't want to be bested by someone who's not really, I wouldn't say our friend, right?
That's a great point. That's the American Compete Act. Also, that one was just introduced as well, August 28th, and that's the one you're talking about. This to me has the biggest opportunity of getting someplace because it has 13 co-sponsors.
Wow.
Of the 13 co-sponsors, you have 3 Democrats, Bobby Rush that you brought up from Illinois. You have Darren Soto, and then you have Robin Kelly. So you have 3 Democrats sponsoring, and then all the rest are Republicans. But look at all the states that are involved in this co-sponsoring of this bill. You have Illinois, Oregon, Florida, North Carolina, another from Illinois. So 2 Democrats out of Illinois. Then you have Ohio, Texas, Michigan, Kentucky,
Boom.
Indiana, Arkansas, Virginia, and Georgia. So across the board, you have 10 Republicans, 3 Democrats. I love this idea of the bipartisan nature. I like the idea that it's coming from a lot of different states. Like you said, what is it called? The American Compete Act.
Yeah, because we want to compete.
I think that's so critical. So let me just
But you
let me
see,
get
that goes back to one of David's earlier points. If you call this the cryptocurrency or the Token Taxonomy Act, immediately there's like the hands go up. That's not important. But when you call it the American Compete Act, and I think this goes back to your point, David. It's like that whole thing of taxonomy and crypto and tokens that freaks people out. But when you say compete, people all get that. That's what I like about it, is that they're kind of rebranding it in a way.
It's like they give them a comfortable platform, for the average person, average thinking person. I wanted to go back to what Jeff was talking about. I believe that America has a secret agenda when it comes to crypto, because, this is just my point of view. America doesn't fall behind. America doesn't lose, right? America's not ignorant to the fact that cryptocurrency is a big deal, and that China's there's a tech war going on, and they're aware, right? And because we don't understand the chess move that they're making and why, you know what I'm saying?
I like the way you're thinking,
and why regulation. We want it because we want the increase in our investment. But the reality of it is, we don't understand what they're doing and why and how. So but what I do believe is that America is definitely not blind, and they're definitely not strategic. They're definitely not unstrategic. I'm not going to say not strategic, but not, you know what I'm saying? They're not.
Yeah.
They're not dumb. They're not like, okay, we don't know what to do.
They're not blind to it. They know. They know what's up. I
believe that there's something going on, and I don't think that they want it to be, I don't want to say public news, but they don't want everybody on it. Like, if you had this one thing that you can prove to people, like, if you buy this and then on this day when the government does this, your money is going to increase 10 times. If you can prove that to thousands and thousands of people, that's a problem. And it's easy to do that when you have a platform like YouTube, Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So I think they want to make it a little more complicated. And I think there's a psychology behind tricking people from believing so definitely, because, I don't think they want every average Joe owning a whole Bitcoin when Bitcoin goes to $250,000, right?
That's a great point.
Even one person in every family, that would change the whole family.
Damn.
So, if it was so, just my opinion, this is my point of view. If it was so obvious that the government was going to implement cryptocurrencies and change money and change the banking system and everything, I think it is obvious to a critical thinker like us, but to the average eye, the person that's not even focused on money that way, doesn't care about banking, doesn't think about their assets, their future. You don't want to awaken those minds. That's what I think. That's what my point of view is. I believe there's a grand psychological scheme behind that. And of course, they're probably doing the same thing in China. We don't know what the Chinese people think. They're probably saying the same thing, and they don't even know what's really going on. And in America, we know that we think China's ahead. In China, they probably think we're ahead.
I like what you said. You said America doesn't lose. That is awesome. We're used to winning. We want to win. And when we look at the tech sector, the whole internet was built around here, right? It's like, oh no, that's cool. We're going to step aside for the blockchain stuff. Some other country can take that. I think you're right, man. That's a good observation.
That's a lot of power on the table, and so you got to understand, like, I don't want to say that, but America doesn't just bow down, okay?
It's the American ingenuity, right? Everybody always discounts the American ingenuity, American exceptionalism. We always find a way to overcome. We always find a way to come together. I think you're 100% spot on, because there's forces at play right now that are trying to divide and conquer within the U.S. And there's a lot going on. I 100% agree with you. There's more going on than anybody could even realize. There's a lot of distraction going on right now, with race division and hate and animosity and separation. They said that the communist takeover of America can be done without ever having to fire a bullet in this country by dividing the country itself. And so we're starting to see that in play, where they're trying to do that, because if you can get everyone to hate each other, then what happens, right? Or not even hate each other, you can get everyone to not trust each other, then you cause some turmoil. But so we know that the battles are being waged right now. But you bring up the greatest point ever, with the U.S. not losing, that the U.S. is also outmaneuvering, or they're playing a completely different game. We'll never know the game, but here's a point that we're starting to see all the lines being drawn. So the Middle East right now is going through a revolution, right? Or a revolution towards positive change, I should say. So we just saw Israel.
Evolution, probably.
Evolution. Yeah, evolution. So Israel and the UAE just signed a peace agreement. Israel and Bahrain just signed a peace agreement. There's normalization within Serbia and Kosovo, that's important, that region. Then we have, on the horizon, we're going to start seeing within a short period of time, Israel is going to have normalization ties with the Sudan, with Saudi Arabia, because the lines are being drawn right now for the next step. What's the next step? Which is, if you go back into the 80s and before, you had the Soviet Union and you had the U.S. and you had a Cold War, and then Europe is kind of stuck in, Western Europe kind of stuck in the middle. We defeated the Soviet Union, broke that up. Now China's coming to the forefront, and there's a lot of actors, and so it's going to be interesting. What you're bringing up to me is 100% spot on, because the Middle East is a wealth of a wealth of wealth. It's an amazing resource. The peace. So to have Israel work with the Arab countries is going to change everything. The face of the Middle East is about to change for the good, right? We're going to see amazing things happening in the Middle East. China right now is trying to establish their regional superiority and influence in Asia. The U.S. with Donald Trump, just got the USMCA, the agreement to replace NAFTA between Canada and Mexico and the U.S. That's dynamic. That changes everything. Now, if they start bringing in some Latin American countries, there's a struggle going on. I don't know where Europe is falling. I don't know what Russia's doing, but the lines are being drawn. Digital assets, 100%. Somehow, all of this is factoring in a bigger picture. Man,
huge.
It's huge. It's so massive.
There's so many different ideals that will cause you to forget about the reality of things. Like, you got to think about it. Like, America has sanctions in almost all these countries, right? So, I mean, you think that money is changing without America being involved in other countries? No, you mean if they were able to establish sanctions in all these countries, what makes you think they won't? I mean, what makes you think they won't? I want to say control digital assets, because I don't think that's the goal. But of course, America wants to control, not control.
Influence. What I mean? Influence.
They want to have control so that nobody comes and overthrows America. Of course, right?
Yeah, well, the SWIFT system makes it easy. That's why they're moving off SWIFT, because with SWIFT, U.S. has that dominance and control. But for this last segment, I wanted to segue. That was an awesome conversation. I want to segue because I want to get back into this other talent that you have, David. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right here. But let's get into this here. Bam. So tell us about David Dash. What's this all about?
Okay, so David Dash is now it's my alter ego. This is me about between 9 and 10 years ago, when I was a hip hop artist down here in Louisiana. Yeah, I used to do performances, and I had my own rap group. I was signed to a label for a while, and I did a bunch of music. I was always on a different angle. It was never like it's hip hop, but I call it party swag music. You know, it's not like your average hip hop. I have a different angle. I have my own sound, you know, and so.
Yeah, let's listen to one, man. This is the one that I dug a little bit. It was like this house party down. Let's just let's go in here and listen to this puppy. Let me go ahead in here. I'm gonna click on this. Here we go. Here we go. You guys hear that, right?
Yep.
All right.
It's Kid Young David. Nigga, give me at your house party. I had you dancing with your best friend. Ari. I'm Davey. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house party down. Watch your house crumble to the ground. David goes wild. David gone wild. Give me a mic and I'll blow your house party down. A quarter pound, I'ma blow the fucking house down. Concrete Records got the army in me. Young David L, Commander-in-Chief. I got a spearhead who brought me back from Africa. Look into my eyes, you can tell that I'm a trafficker. Party going wild, but not Davey. Fresh Santa Boy shirts and concrete savings. Need $20 bills, make my dick tingle.
Cut it.
Bam.
I remember the next line.
Oh, you do. You know, just give me the.
Hey, play House Party. That was like, I don't know if everybody's gonna like it, but that was my single. That was like, to me, that was my most impressive song.
Which
like,
one?
I always it's called House Party. It's just called House Party. I always was like a very catchy hook writer. You know, like how you said, "I'm a Virgin" was stuck in your head, Chip. Like I always
got that stuck in my head, man. We wanted to play that too.
Catchy hooks, man. So play House Party. I think that was my coolest song.
Here we go. Let's do this.
Hey, one mullet. We're inside.
You gotta be ready to cut, though. You gotta be ready to cut because this.
Okay, I'm gonna watch you. I'm gonna watch you.
All right, we'll do that. Whatever.
I'm gonna watch you, man.
Yo, I'm throwing a party. You heard me in my house. You heard me. Come fuck with me. You heard me. Just bring your own cigars and bottles, and please don't bring no papers.
I'm dancing with my best friend, girlfriend. She dancing with my sister, no problem. The party's over here at David's. We got our own cigars and bottles. We dancing with the kid, young David. House party, no problem. My swagger always draw in haters. So bring your own cigars and bottles. David, macking with my swag on extra. Dancing with.
Yeah, I got out right in time there, man. It's like he's like, got it.
That's awesome.
All right, so the first one that I heard last night when we were chatting here was the Virgin, man. This one's got in my head.
That was a cool one.
Let's see, I'm a Virgin here.
Now we expect to hear some really great like XRP stuff too.
I've been thinking about that. I actually been thinking about that.
Give bags, XRP bags a little bit. Yeah,
I might just make a really try my best to make like a good song and like bring it to you guys and like.
Bam.
I could actually make any kind of music. I'm not just stuck on hip hop. You know, like I'm very diverse. I'm creative and like I can think like. I know how to, it's just making music is natural to me, you know. So
I want to hear some country music. No, I'm just kidding. That's not my thing, man. It's not my thing. Unless it's Johnny Cash. Sorry, Jeff. I thought I'd throw that in there. Let's listen to this.
Virgin swag, concrete tag. You know Madonna, Virgin Mary.
I'm a virgin. 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 Why you acting like a nerd? 'Cause I'm a virgin. She a virgin. He a virgin. Stop acting like a nerd. I'm a virgin. Young neighbor got swag in person. I just wanna be his girlfriend. I'm a virgin. She a virgin. Why you acting like a nerd? I'm a virgin. I'm home alone like Macaulay Culkin. If I swag right, she'll probably be my best friend. I'm a scientific nerd wearing a gas mask. I ain't never had sex since how I'm acting. If your girlfriend is really, real attractive.
That Macaulay Culkin line
awesome.
cracks me up, man.
Yeah, I love it.
That intro, man. Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
That's good. So guys, go down there, click on there. You can go to SoundCloud and listen to all this stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff. I was checking out last night, which was good.
Great. It was great.
Yeah, man. That was let's get back to us over here. But that was good, man. That was some good stuff. So it's like amazing the talent we have in this community.
Yeah.
What is there anything else you got? You got some secret intel? What's going on with the U.S.? You're rapping, writing music, man. You're. I mean, you can follow DavidXRP on Twitter. What else you got going on, man? You guys hiding anything over there?
Not really, man.
All right, just checking, man.
One of my things I plan, once I make some profit off of my investments in crypto, I really plan to I don't know what I want to do yet, but I know I want to stay involved in crypto. And because the space is so young, I plan to I'm hoping I can get with some guys that do code and know how to create apps and stuff, because I'm willing to invest in like new investments and stuff. And like I was thinking about coming up with a new idea, for some apps and stuff. And I also let me just run this idea by you. I'm not gonna do that. I just
don't do it, man. Do it offline. It might be
okay.
just,
Yeah.
You're on a roll, man. We just want to just take that offline, but
yeah, I have a crazy idea, and I don't know, it might do something, but I do want to reinvest, like once I get some.
You can become an investor, man. You can invest in blockchain projects,
Right.
Be an angel investor. That's.
But I mean, don't you think it'll be like, since this space is so young, like you can find something that nobody is. It's a lot of things that blockchain can do that nobody is doing yet. And
agreed, man.
Think of it, and and you bring it to the right people, or if you have some content creators yourself that can work with you, because I don't know how to do that. I actually tried to learn how to do some coding, and I mean, it's I can learn it if I wanted to, but it's nothing I knew. Like I'm already doing what I'm doing, so it's like, man, ain't no sense in me trying to learn this when I know that there's people who know how to do it, and I could just get with those guys.
You gotta love it, man. That's the thing. I've done front end code and I've done JavaScript. You gotta love it. It's gotta be something you dig, not just something you want to learn, man.
It's actually really interesting to me, but I have, man, I don't think I'm just over talented, but I have so many things that I do, man. And like to learn coding would just like, shoo.
Just put that on your bucket list, man. Just like, maybe park it down the road a little bit. You never know, man. Never say never. You never know.
Coding kind of like music? I mean, if you're, into the music, the coding kind of comes and forms in a similar way.
Not to me, Jeff. I'm also a musician. It ain't like that for me. No,
it doesn't work that way.
I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
Different because it's totally different.
Well, listen, I want to just say, David, thank you so much for joining us, man. On the OTC Roundtable. I got XRP shoved in my head there. That and like a virgin. Yeah, I'm going to be singing that again all day today. So hopefully you guys will be walking away with that. You guys can follow DavidXRP on Twitter, link below. Check out his merch over there on the link, and also you can also check out his music as well. So I want to thank you, man. I want to give you last word. Wrap this up for us, man, before we get out of here.
I appreciate you guys having me, man. This is incredible for me. I mean, I actually look up to you guys. I've watched your channel a lot, and I appreciate you having me on as a guest. I didn't think I was this special, but I mean, I just thank you guys, man. And I think it's pretty cool.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, it's great. We always love having people in the community, people we look up to, and you always share some cool. You're always doing some cool stuff on Twitter, man. That's how you got on my purview. I started just checking your stuff out, interacting with you online.
Right. I'm thinking about making my own channel, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna go about that yet. But I have a channel, but I don't have any content. But thinking about going that way. So
I think you should pursue that, man. I think you got a lot. I think you got your own perspective. I think you should share it. I think you should get out there, man, because I think you get it, and you can share your vision. And I think we need more voices, man.
Right.
We need more people out there doing this, because it'll bring more people into the community. So yeah, I'd love to see you get your channel rocking.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, man. It starts off. We can help any way we can too. Any way we can help, we'd be happy to get you launched and promote you as well. So
okay.
And look, you know, look, I mean, this is a learning experience. You know, we might do these. We're on the channel, Jeff, but we're always learning. So we're learning together. We're all learning together. This is a community. What makes it really worth it for Jeff and I is the people right here. I want to thank everybody for you know, joining us tonight, because you guys make it worthwhile. You're some of the smartest human beings on the planet. The stuff you share, the jokes you share, you make us laugh. You share some really amazing tech knowledge, so that makes it worth it. Am I right, Jeff? I mean,
Yeah, I agree. You know, I just want to give a shout out to Wen Mullet, who's always trying to bring us back on topic. You know, but yeah, David, man, it was outstanding. You know, having you on today. You know, the conversation we had was really really critical. I think you have an amazing voice, you know, to share with people. So if you're looking to, you know, start your own channel, whatever we can do to help you do that. But I really think that you should do it. You know, think about it, because the ideas that you have, you know, it's important right now. It really is. Especially you look at, there's so many new people that are getting into this space, and everybody connects with other people differently, and be able to share those stories, share that information, and it's awesome. You know, I really appreciate, you know, everything that you've done, you know, so far, you know, in the community, everything that you're going to be doing in the community. Having you on today, you know, is just outstanding.
Thank you so much.
yeah, man, stick around too. We're gonna take us out of here. But everybody, thank you. You can always go to onthechain.io. Onthechain.io. We're gonna be starting. Yeah, right down. You can click on the link down there as well. But we're out of here, man. It was a lot of fun hanging out. But stick around, David. Don't go anywhere. And that's it, right, Jeff?
I think so. I think
All
we're
right.
ready to get out. Where's that button? It's over here somewhere. Right there.
Right there.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.